What's up, fight fans? Your boy P. Welsh here, bringing to you UFC 317 picks, previews, and predictions. 6-6 week, pretty tough start. Had a good little run, but excited for this card. Feeling pretty good about a few of the fights here. Starting off in the welterweight division, we got Nico Price versus Jacoby Smith. We're in T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. We got Topuria versus Oliveira and Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. 2 belts on the line. Probably the card of the year, honestly, calling it right now. Going through this, there's so many banger matchups. And we're opening up with Price versus Smith here. And if you look at the price tag, pun intended, Jesus, plus 1,000 or something, minus 1,800 for Smith here. So I think Smith KO. I mean, if Robbie Lawler's knocking you out inside a minute, Price has a freaking glass chin. He's just been finished more times. It's just, 8 losses, 6 by finish. It's just about one of those things. GG's. Maybe one of the not best welterweights on the roster right now. Finishes by Rowe, Sabatini, Lawler, and I think you could put Jacoby Smith in here as an absolute freaking machine, dude. Been waiting to see him get kind of back on there. Had that Preston Parsons fight, finished him in a minute, and want to see him back out there. I think this is a Smith spot, maybe round one Smith spot under 1.5. Don't miss this one. It's gonna be over quick. 8 wins by KO, and ready to roll. Ready to roll. Let's go, boys. Next up, we got a heavyweight bout. Jonita Dinitz, 8-1, coming off a mauling to Tybura versus Alvin Hines, coming in on short notice, replacing, I think, Tafa. I thought Tafa had a chance here. I was actually going to pick him. And I'm kind of also liking Hines here, man. Like, unless Denise, did something drastically change, I just think Hines has a puncher's chance. Man, a win over Austin Lane really doesn't mean. I mean, I guess it means a little bit more. He's gotten a little bit better in a couple of years, but I mean, still, I think Haynes has a chance to come in here and make some noise. I don't think the guy looks kind of like a unit, a little bit more experience. Maybe he's just a little bit older, maybe not the most experienced, but a certified finisher. And if there's one thing Denise is, he could take a punch. So. Just the damage he accumulated on that freaking Tybura. He got in a bad position, one mistake, and it's over. And I'm picking Hines here. You don't even got a picture. I'm picking him. This is really a faded Denise because I picked him last time against Tybura, and he freaking mauled, and he got mauled. So not really gonna trust that again. And that being said, like I said, I think Hines is just. You never really know with these guys coming in, and man, they got to do something in the heavyweight division. So new era right now. Johnny Jones out. Tommy's unified, undisputed. And we're getting some new crop of people in there. So I'm taking Hines on the upset here early on. I got a lot of upsets on this card. I think it's going to be pretty hard to handicap some of this weekend. I think a lot of people are recency bias, and I mean, always as it is, but there are some spots that I really like that I think really stand out, and some opportunities, especially if you get the right situation, as I think we can kind of break down and feed into a little bit. So Hines here. Bang! Let's go. Middleweight bout. What is going on here? Sequarius Dumas, the dumbass, versus Jackson McVeigh. Dumbass, 10-3. Coming off a loss, knockout loss. Jackson McVeigh, 6-0, making his UFC debut. And, I'm just going to pick McVeigh here. I'm not going to pick a guy that was in jail a couple months ago, robbing people with a gun and everything. So please don't hurt me, Mr. Dumas. But, just keep it in the octagon. McVeigh all day. Let's see what he's got here. I just think he got finished in his last fight. I really worry about him too, man. Taking losses is not good for your mentality. With doing it in front of people, taking physical damage. So, prayers up for Sequarius Dumas outside of the octagon. I hope he puts on a good performance, man. Really shows a nice professional effort. But yeah, I won't pick somebody that was literally in jail 6 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago. So, McVeigh. Let's just move on. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. We got Terrence McKinney versus Vasily Borshev in the lightweight bout on the prelim. 16-7 McKinney versus 8-5-1 Borshev. And McKinney's got a little bit of a reach advantage. 1 inch for height on Borshev. And yeah, maybe those tiny arms on Borshev really hurt him recently because he's just been taking a lot of damage. That being said, if there's anybody to rebound against, it's freaking Terrence McKinney because Man is basically the Kevin Holland of the lightweight division because he's coming back when he does come back. But yeah, man, he's taking some quick losses. He's taking some L's, and I think he might be catching one on the chin here again. Um, Not like he's fighting trash cans by any stretch of the means, but I just think he's, I mean, Dober, Bombfeem, Saidakov, Rabovich, those are good fighters, right? Like, so he's not fighting bad people. So I wonder if Borshevev's really going to bring it here. I like low-key think this one's going to be a decision. I kind of like Borshevev by decision here, personally. Is kind of think where I'm going to make my official pick. Because, again, one thing, I'm just never going to really pick and trust McKinney ever again. And I mean, this might be the last time on the Borshevev train, too. If he takes another L here, he probably never even get to pick him again in the UFC. So, like, that's where I think he might actually show up a little bit. I mean, again, like, he had a draw. They both have Saidakov. He lost to Chase Hooper, which was a bad one. He beat James on top, who's not in the UFC anymore. So, but, like, again, Borshevev is not really, like, a winner like that either. And if you look at that being said, man, he's gotten slumped up by basically a lot of people. So I don't know, man. This is the one. It's like 6 1/2 dozen in the other. Which one do you want to go with? Which one do you want to go dance with at the end of the day? And I'm just gonna go dance with a more desperate fighter in Borshevev. I just think he needs it more. Coming off a matchup like Tom Nolan, he make a few adjustments, and I think like he wasn't getting knocked out. He only got dark. I mean, he did lose to Chase Hooper, but that was still, he's got to rebound. He's got to rebound, or else he's gone. So I think an exciting fight against McKinney here is exactly what the Borshevev train needs, and I think that's what we're gonna kind of get here, and that's where I'm just gonna pick. I just kind of think that's gonna, again, it's just kind of also like I ain't trusting McKinney, just because he comes back with one fight against who. Okay, but like that doesn't mean Damar Hosdrovich. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. My point made. Next up, let's go women's flyweight. Vivian Araujo, 13-6 versus Tracy Cortez, 11-2. Coming off a loss to Namajunas back in the day, canceled bout against Maverick, so we're here with Vivian Araujo on this card in T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas, Nevada, for these lovely ladies and flyweight bout, bringing to us a great matchup here. I mean, I don't. It's kind of hard to argue against Cortez because she looks really sharp. Even in that loss to Namajunas, she was winning rounds, winning minutes, winning moments. So, but she did, nobody's ever gonna forget the eyelash. So, she does have to recover from that, and I think that's where she's kind of locked in here. I mean, if you look at her career, bro, wins against Gatto, wins against Jazz Dervicius before the loss to Namajunas. I think you gotta lean Cortez, and I think Araujo could really win. I just don't know if she has the pace to keep up with on the outside. I mean, it's kind of like it does remind me of that Natalia. I just like I see more Silva in Cortez than I see any other opponent, and I just think somebody like she just can lose on the outside, and that's where I think Araujo has lost. Lost to Hebos, lost to Grasso. Why not another loss to Cortez on there? It's not like Araujo's beaten anybody with supreme talent, right? And Jennifer, so I think it's Tracy Cortez by decision, and I think she can get a cheeky sub in there too. No doubt, but the most likely decision, 6 in her career, not really a finisher. A lot more, and that's Vivian. My bad, I had the wrong freaking 9 for Cortez, 1 of each finish. So, yeah, I kind of really think that for Cortez is a path. I just think I just think she's a better fighter, and I mean, I picked Rose against her, and I thought it was a very, very close fight. So, let's go, Tracy. Let's go, Tracy. Come on, Tracy. Next up, we got a featherweight bout here. Heider Amil, 11-0 against Jose Miguel Delgado, 9-1. What a matchup the matchmakers are giving us. I like my guy Heider Amil, 11-0. I think he's coming off a knockout win, I believe. And opposing him is Jose Miguel Delgado. I think where's my page right? Second UFC fight, beating Connor Matthews in his debut. And yeah, I think Delgado is going to win early, round 1, but I think Heider's got round 2, round 3. maybe a little bit more experience in the gas tank. I don't necessarily know if he's gonna get finished. Now, like this being said, caveat asterisk, if Delgado finishes Hyder Amil, he might be just on a different trajectory, but I'm just not ready to believe he's there yet until I see him do it against somebody like him. I mean, and I'm just a Hyder Amil guy, right? We've been on the train, another dog opportunity for him, so he's kind of he runs on that dog, bro. So I know he's a little long in the tooth, but that being said, I really think Hyder Amil by decision. I think he can kind of get it going again. I just 35 in the featherweight is kind of like where you're peaking out here. But I also can see him getting that loss against another younger, more technical fighter that Delgado brings, as he approaches a finisher by trait. But I'm just worried that he's never really fought a certified UFC veteran in the second and third rounds. Now, I'll always say, when you say that, breaking down any fight ever, the guy can get knocked out in the first 3 minutes, and it doesn't matter how long the fight was scheduled for, right? So like that's always the caveat, and I think Delgado has a chance to win at distance by decision, kind of put that little more of experience in there, really work the striking, and I can see that happening as well. I'm just gonna go. I'm just picking Hyder because I think he's got more of that X factor, more of that dog. And if there's a chance for him to win late, I think he has to find it because he's gonna have to find it. And if not, I definitely can see him losing. This is a super. I won't say I'm super confident. This is one of my more like fandom picks for the week because like I really want to pick Delgado, but I ain't gonna try and fade my guy Hyder Amil. But this kind of feels like the spot that it's almost right to in a way. And yeah, I just need some time to chew it over a little bit. But I'm gonna make my official pick Hyder Amil, win, lose, or draw. I'm just gonna stick by my guy, run him with the undefeated record. We'll move on to the feature prelim middleweight bout: Jacques Hermanson versus Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. Hermanson 24-8, coming off a win. Rodriguez RoboCop 16-6, coming off the loss to Cannonier 5-round main event. And yeah, 33 years old, and that's where I think RoboCop always kind of struggles is, man, he's so good in that first 1 to 2 rounds, but after that, dude, certified kind of gasses out, which is kind of hard to really say that because, even some of his losses, but man, I feel like we've watched him fight a lot, and that just kind of feels like, but man, he just walks through some guys too. Walked through Brad Tavares in the third round, kind of disproving that point. But man, I'm really a big fan of Hermanson. I mean, was his last win the fight for 5-rounder? So, I just think Jack Hermanson is way better than the average fan gives him. Now, is he gonna get knocked out by RoboCop? Very likely. Surprised I'm really not more feeling it, but this is the spot where like I feel like RoboCop goes down, where he's like expected to walk through some guy that he really might not be able to at the end of the day. 11-6 UFC record. I said my guy has been in there against some certified killers over the years. Pfeiffer, Dolesty, Curtis, Strickland, Shabazian, Vittori, Gaslam, Cannonier, Mearshart. Like the list goes on. The list goes on. And so I really think, and he's got great experience before that. I just think Jack Hermanson, just the level of training, I don't know, man. This is the people's main event. I can't really even want to pick one side. I'm going with Hermanson, but recently the Baltic guys have not been treating me so well when I'm going out, especially with them as dogs. So I could definitely see another RoboCop. These last 2 fights are literally 2 that like I'm probably the least confident on in terms of, but like I kind of have to go with my guys because I think they also perform super well as dogs. And the guys that are favorites, I'm necessarily not like, okay, that guy deserves to be that big of a favorite, right? And I really do think these are very much pick'em fights, both of them. I mean, they're very close, even so. Not even as close to the pick'ems in a way. I think I feel a little bit better about the pick'em that's coming up in a little bit than I do about some of these other ones. But boy, oh boy, I think we got an absolute card of the year here. Going Jack Hermanson, man, but I think we should expect violence in here. I think this one could probably end in the second and third round. If it does end early, but like that's not really an MO it could be Hermanson ending early, right? RoboCop just walking forward and just getting caught on the chin, going down, bam, bam, hammer fist. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Reyes versus can't remember who he fought last. Krylov. He fought Krylov last and finished him in that first round. So I think if there is a first round finish, it might be something more like that. But man, I'm on Hermanson here, and there's nothing against RoboCop, but man, dude, this is a banger. This is just a banger. And yeah, I just think Hermanson's really, really good. So let's go, baby, on to the main card. Dude, they sprung this matchup on us really quickly. We got Peyton Talbot 9-1 versus Felipe Lima 14-1. Talbot coming off the loss to Ione Barcelos. Lima 14-1. Coming off the win, was it to Naimov? Miles John. He beat Naimov in the third round, and I don't know how you guys feel about this. Let me know how you feel about Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. I think maybe man, one fight I'm extremely scared for fighters that I love very much dearly. I mean, Talbot's gonna be in for a world. Maybe, dude, you're not fighting Giannis Gamora. You're not fighting Cameron Simon anymore. You're fighting Felipe Lima, who's I think a certified killer in the bantamweight division. Jungle Boy, I think, is on a 14-fight win streak, which is insane. And I think Talbot's lost a little bit of who we kind of thought he might have been. But like, he's also fighting guys. This guy is so much better than every other fighter he's ever faced, even so much better than Barcelos. I think this guy could fight in a title eliminator at some point. I think he's a top 5 contender in the bantamweight in the next 3 to 5 years. So I think he rolls through Talbot, and I'm a big Talbot fan, and I hate to kind of pick against him and see him go down a little bit. But man, timing, preparation. But maybe that's what Talbot's got. He's got to be able to, got to have a good game plan. I hope he can get a good team around him. You know, start training super hardcore. And if so he can excel in these kind of fights, because it's going to be it's you got to have a defining style, and this is a defining style fight. Might not be a career defining. These guys are great. They got a lot of time left. Guys can recover, take some time, go train for a year, come back against an opponent, keep training. There's definitely still time to develop and progress whatever happens after this fight. But this is a stylistically defining fight for both of these gentlemen. We're going to see if Felipe Lima can outstrike Talbot. Is Talbot striking that good? And he definitely has some deficiencies in the ground game. Did he shore those up? Did he get better at them? And can Lima expose them in any way whatsoever? So, I think this is a super fascinating matchup. I really just think the timing and the preparation favors Lima. Maybe maybe they'll run this back later in their career and they'll get it back. Maybe we get like a split decision, very close fight. Maybe not a finish, but I think Talbot will really rally in that dog around him, seeing that he's a dog. I think he's got a lot of heart in him, dude. I think he's a super talented prospect. I think he's a certified fighter. You know what I mean? He's a really good martial artist, and I hope he can bring it to the table, because I think Lima is as well. Official pick is Lima. We're going to sit back and watch. Good luck to Talbot. Many blessings, brother. Let's go, baby. Flyweight bout here. We got I don't know what happens because Kape's out. And sometimes the flyweights really mess with you. But we got Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van here. The trains are colliding right now, and winner might have next. It's going to be Royval, though. It's going to be not pretty. It's going to be something that, what I could see here is, I don't know, man. I don't know. We're just going to pick Royval. I think Royval wins. I'm going to keep speculation out of this. I'm going to keep matchmaking out of my brain. I just think Royval with preparation, Josh Van, short camp. It's not 5 rounds, right? So that's about the one thing that's going to save Josh Van here. But, man, I think Royval is going to sneak a couple takedowns in there, really control the fight, and bring it to him. So, yeah, I like Brandon Royval here. I need to go check the line movement on this, because he's back to being an underdog. I think he was favored early. It's been all over the joint since they released this matchup. I am such a Josh Van fan. But man, 23, you don't know any better. I just worry about, man, I've just seen the guys go 3 fights in 7 months right now. You know what I mean? I've seen guys fourth fight. It's his third fight of the year. It's his fourth fight since December. It's fifth fight since September. Just a lot. I know he's young. Get it in while you're young, go on a run. But I think Royval's a freight train, dude. I think he's got real stopping power. I think he's got real grapple game. I think he's got real advantages in metrics as well. Stuff that can't be overcome. You can't outbox him if you're on your back, and I think that's what's going to happen here. I think that's something similar you'll see to. I know Josh Van has great takedown defense, but I also think Royval is tough. And if you're really gonna box him, he's gonna leg kick you to freak. He's gonna leg kick you. I don't know, man. This is gonna be. I'm card of the year. This is the whole main card. Is everyone is a main event. So, welcome to the next main event, ladies. Brandon Royval, Joshua Van. This one's only 3 rounds though. But I got Royval here, especially. I like him at the odds. I just think again, it's June 7th, 3 weeks later. It's not a lot of time, man. Not a lot of time. I worry about the gas tank, dude. You can't recover and retrain, stay. It's hard to stay in like that kind of shape. I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm just fat and old. Maybe I'm not 23 years old anymore. I just think to stay in that peak fighting shape against guys, like it'd be one thing if you're just gonna go fight. Let's go get somebody in the flyweight division. Alex Perez. You know what I mean? If he was gonna go fight, it'd be one thing if you go fight Urseg, Elliott. Anybody around him. But to elevate against a guy that's been waiting, because he had Cop on the schedule twice. So, you know what I mean? This is Royval all day, bro. I love Josh Van, but this is Royval all day. I hope you guys can realize that, right? Wins over Tyra, wins over Moreno, loss in the championship against Pantoja, and those last 2 rounds he won. So like it was a close. It ended up being a close main event at the end. Royval, bro, and I think he's gonna get a rematch. As I broke this fight down, he gets the rematch after he gets a win because he's gonna say it was a close fight. Bring it back, brother. Bring it back. And if not, I can see an interim belt, Moreno, Royval, even a Van. They could go Pantoja, Dvalishvili if they want to get something new for Pantoja to cleanse his palate. Run the interim. You got it at Noche, respectively, if they want. And, bro, they got a lot of opportunities, and Royval both these guys open the door up for it. So, let's go! I'm fired up, bro. This is the card of the year, bro, really. Benny B. Dariush versus Renato Moicano, rescheduled lightweight bout. Moicano, 20-6-1. Dariush, 22-6-1. I got to go with my boy Moni Moicano. I just think he's got more pathways to victory. I just think he can do the damage and get it to. I think Dariush just kind of has to be the freaking knockout power KO, and I think Moicano is going to be able to just train for him. I just think you're going to know how Beneil Dariush fights. He's taken a few losses too against guys that I feel like confident to go against. So I think he's going to know the timings of what to expect from Dariush as he sits there. I think he's going to know what to work to open him up, and I think he's going to get him down and eventually get the finish. I think Moicano by submission in the second round is what I'm thinking here. I think it's going to take a little bit to get him going there. I think Dariush will play it real close to the vest for the first round, not making it out there the last few times, but yeah, it's just been tough going for Benny B, man. And again, dude, just not a spot you really like to see him against Renato Moicano. Off the rebound, desperate for more money, you know what I mean? And needing the win bonus. So it just seems like one of those spots where, like, what do you trust? I just feel like you've seen Moicano take down BSD. You've seen him take down other guys very well, and it's just I don't know. You also worry about him getting knocked out too, because that is his pathway. But Dariush's got to get there. He's got to go forward and he's got to open himself up then. And I just think sometimes Moicano's just training is just up there, bro. He's very intelligent with how he talks. He gives I think he just talks about the money to throw people off of like his game, dude. It's like Usman and the knees. He just talks about money to realize that you don't realize he's a really good fighter, man, and he's been up there against everybody. And yeah, maybe he shouldn't have been there. Maybe it should have been Benny B against Makhachev that night. Maybe it should have been. But you always got to give it to Moicano. He's finishing people. He was doing very well. But, that's why Islam's the GOAT, dude. And should be another great matchup. But I do think Moicano gets it in the second round. I think even if Dariush can win the first round on the feet, he can. But I think at some point he'll open himself up. They'll make an adjustment. The corner is good. And Moicano will be ready to go, baby. Ready to roll. Money! Co-main event time, flyweight championship, Alejandro Pantoja, 29-5, 5'5", against Kai Kara France, 25-11, 5'4", 2-inch on the reach, and man, he's got a chance. I'm picking Pantoja because he's my guy. I'll ride Pantoja till he's freaking not the champ. Kai Kara France has a chance, but I'm never gonna not pick Pantoja. I also think it kind of to me gonna present like the Ursig fight, right? If France doesn't make the fights like Ursig because he's way more experienced, he can win. He definitely can win. Then we run auto rematch back, which won't be good for the division. But maybe then he goes challenges. You never know. But it's gonna be like, dude, are you gonna be able to? Dude, the damage to be done to Pantoja is just so incredibly tough to just have consistently. It's just, are you gonna pick Pantoja, bro? I mean, I think Kai Kara France can get it done. I really do. I do believe in him, but I'm picking Pantoja, bro. He's getting another Ruby. The guy, ever since I saw him. Again, I don't even remember where I just remember him standing people. Dude, I remember watching him early 2021 when I first got in there. I'm like, this guy is so good. Why? And then fighting kind of selectively then. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at his, I don't think I watched the Schnell fight. I definitely didn't watch the Askarov. But I remember watching one of the Royval or Perez fights. And, I remember him I think it was definitely the Perez fight, but then I remember watching the Royval before that. Man walked through everybody. He's been walking through everybody since then. Moreno, Royval, Ursig, Asukara, France again. So, let's see what happens, man. This is going to be a dogfight for sure. I think we got 5 rounds in the books. I think France is going to bring it. Is he going to make the mistakes that are going to cause him to get finished? I don't know. Has it happened a little bit, but like, I don't know if Pantoja presents the situation that's going to end up finishing France, right? I think it's again a very close decision. I think it's 3-2 Pantoja. I think France is going to win some rounds later. Pantoja just comes out with such pace, such ferocity for those first 3 rounds that I do think he opens himself up late to those finishes. Like I said, watch the title fight against Royval. Very close. I mean, split decision against Moreno. Those last couple rounds were very close. But can you survive the onslaught and the blitzkrieg of Pantoja for the first 15 minutes where he basically wins every one of his fights and then, kind of holds on at the end. So let's kind of see, because even Ursig, those last few rounds were very competitive. I think we got another one like that. I think it's more like Ursig, Royval, Moreno than it is Asukara, Perez. Kai Kara France, this is his time, man. This is his chance. New Zealand, not Australia, represent the down under, but not the down under. And could happen, man. Could happen. Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be shocked. We'll see how it goes. But I'm picking Pantoja, man. What an absolute banger of a matchup. Wow. Yeah, this one over. This one decision probably very close. Oh, sweat it out, bro. Full clenched for like half an hour. Like, people like, how do you not like decisions? Sometimes I'm like, yo, you realize like sometimes the fights are so close that like they can't finish them. Like, that's how close these guys are at fighting. Like, it's an art form. Like, it's like, oh, like Beethoven's pretty good. Mozart's pretty good too. You know what I mean? It's just like if they went head to head, they'd be you're nitpicking sometimes, and that's what these fights end in. And now we're into the main event of the evening. Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira, lightweight title fight. Can't believe Islam's vacating this, but we got Topuria versus Oliveira. 16-0, Topuria 35-10, and 1 no contest. Oliveira. And Charles fans rise up, but I think it's going to be your last dance. I mean, the thing is, Charles has been in losing positions, right? You've never seen. This is my whole thing with, like, it has to be proven for it to then be done, right? Like, prove it and then I'll believe it. I know that you have to get ahead of the trend sometimes, but this is one of the case. Like, bro, I'm done not believing in Topuria just being in this other world boxing mixed martial artist coming from the lab of the gymnasium. I'm worried for Charles. I think Topuria under 2.5, I think, is the best way you can get him on the books. I just think he stalks him down. I just think Charles takes some damage. I think he can survive, try and grapple, but man, dude, it's Topuria, bro. He's just gonna put it on him at some point, and it's just gonna be over, man. Any Charles fan, just be prepared. I'm not saying this in terms of like I like Ilia Topuria. I'm just not trying to be getting knocked out by him and slumped with a guy that I'm really in love with again, dude. Seeing it twice is enough. I got it, bro. I got you, Ilya. It's your arena. It's your time. Maybe we'll see the mega fight with Islam one day. That's just what I hope we can ever see. I think that is literally the dream matchup of the UFC at any point in the next 3 years. If you can match up Makhachev versus Topuria, they can clean out everybody and somehow square off against one another. I think that is literally the biggest matchup that you can make. Really do. I mean, since McGregor Habib in a way, like I think that is the absolute, and that I just generally think he's one that skilled, that talented, and he's got the edge to him that people love. I mean, he's got his great loyal fans. I think he's really winning the people over on the edge, like myself, where I'm just a full-on believer right now. I think Charles is going to be freaking crying in his sleep, unfortunately, as much as I want Charles to win. Do Bronx walks home with the belt, I think it would be arguably one of the greatest upsets of all time in terms of expectation, perception, reality, and what everything that occurs in the moments of the 25 minutes, whatever happens in there to finish them. I think it would be arguably one of the greatest title upsets since Pena Nunez. It'd be up there with Pena Nunez, in my opinion. Just one of those that if Charles can actually get it done somehow, some way, like win condition a finish, like maybe, I don't even know. I just can't see how he just doesn't take physical damage to be put down and either subbed or clubbed or just stopped by Topuria. You know what I mean? It's just like at some point Charles is going to make a mistake, even in his wins. Charles makes some mistakes and gets himself in bad situations, right? Even in his wins. So, think he was very fortunate to get the belt the first time, and he's been ever elevated from that. I mean, he did beat Poirier, he did beat Gaethje, but after that, I just think, win against Beneil Dariush, lost to Sarukian. He beat Sarukian. That's another one that, like, you can argue, but then another fight against Chandler, he deserves a shot at it, but I just don't think, I just don't think if you watch the Alex Volkanovski walkout from when he fought Diego Lopes, it's just damn hard to beat Topuria and Islam Makhachev. One person's beat both of them. You know what I mean? It's hard to just be and anything. It's hard not to be and anything against them. And that's just unfortunately the situation that Charles is just facing. It's hard to be 1-1 against Topuria and Makhachev, and that means he has to beat Topuria now because he's already lost to Islam. You know what I mean? You really don't get second chances against those guys either. They don't want to fight somebody they've already finished, especially if that's the case. So I just think that's the situation that, like, you just present yourself with. As great as a champion as you are, as great as there's just a different, and I just think that's where Topuria is personally, and that's where I think Makhachev is. I think those two guys are clearly the two best mixed martial artists in their prime, and I just think we see Topuria under 2.5. right? Even if it makes the third round, gives you an extra 2.5 minutes for him to find something. I think that's the freaking money spot for Topuria. We'll do a quick recap here. I'm liking some of the picks. A couple very much a toss up. I think some spots like Royval, Moicano, I'm very strong in. And then Pantoja, Kai Kara France is a toss up, but this I think is one way traffic. I think Topuria, Oliveira's chances somehow just do massive leg damage from the outside and not take any damage. Somehow find a takedown or two and really just control some rounds. That's Charles win condition, right? I know I took to the end of the video to get that, but he's gonna have to dominate leg kicks. He's gonna have to take no damage. And he's gonna have to find some way to out grapple Topuria and get him on the ground, disengage, stand back up, win engagements again. Right? It's just gonna be tough. I figure over 25 minutes for Charles. Let's go Topuria. Let's go recap. Let's go UFC 317. Fight card of the year. Jacoby Smith with the finish. Alvin Haynes, big upset. Jackson McVee. We're going to go Borshevev, desperation. Tracy Cortez all day. Hyder Amil, underdog, undefeated. Jack Hermanson in a great matchup against RoboCop. Good to see that one. Go Philippe Lima, Brandon Royval, Money Moicano, Alejandro Pantoja, Ilya Topuria. Give me your comments. Predict 100% winners in the comments, and I'll give you $100. Like, comment, subscribe if you made it this far. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always enjoy these videos. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves, your friends, your family. Peace and love.